Okay, welcome back. Zula here. I don't even need to say something more. Wild card, stacking the deck. Yeah, let's get into this fight. Howler let out a weary sigh as he began to shifted to his weight. The bah! Oh, here we go again. Howler let out a weary sigh as he began to shift his weight, desperately trying to sleeve off sleep. Guard duty was one of the more boring jobs in the mine. Just a lot of standing around and watching absolutely nothing. At least with the slave driving, he got to watch the ponies cower before him. Maybe even whip a couple that didn't work fast enough. But this was just dull, not to mention unnecessary. Redtooth ordered that the entire cave should be lit. Every tunnel, every chamber with dogs to watch every torch. He had screamed this order just last week, spittle flying through those huge teeth. As he ranted how the darkness was coming for him. Fucking insane, Howler mumbled for himself, before glaring around to make sure that he hadn't been overheard. Redtooth might be insane, but he was not an idiot, and he certainly wasn't a pushover. Howler wouldn't admit to anyone, but Redtooth scared him. Those horrible, sick eyes and that grotesque muscle body. He scared every dog in the pack, but no of them would ever admit it, for fear of being called a runt. Howler inception on the effect of intimidation on the pack loyalty were interrupted by the sound of hoops slamming against stone. That couldn't be right. All the slaves should be working. He stared down the tunnel where the sound originally came from, straining his eye to get penetrated the darkness. Wait, darkness? There was supposed to be more torches down the way, illuminating the entire cave, but they must have gone out. Yeah, that was it. Just a simple accident. Someone will just reel it in a minute and it will all be fine. He waited and watched, expecting the guard on duty down to strike up a piece of flint to lit the torch. Oh, Earth, Redtooth couldn't actually be right in these ravings. The darkness. It was coming for him. He's got the others, and it was coming for him. He pointed his spear and in his paw, trembling as they gripped it tightly. In trembling voice, addressed the dark. Come out. I don't afraid. Show your face. Show yourself. For a moment, he was complete silence. Then Howler got his wish. All through, he quickly lettered the true meaning of phrase, be careful for what you wish for. A bestial roar emanated from the dark hand. As the darkness before a huge hand emerged and grabbed Howler's spear, yanking it from him, shaking his hand with ease. Howler just stood there, his mind numb and knees trembling, as the darkness seemed to move towards him. The guttering light from the torch burnt away the shadow figure, revealing even more terrifying Minotaur that had been concealed. The Minotaur glanced down on the terrified dog before casually reaching over him one mighty hand toward his torch. Howler's eyes narrowed to pinpricks in terror as the light, which seemed to offer much secure mere minutes ago was actually crushed between the beast's two fingers. Darkness concealed and terrifying enveloped the two figures. Howler's eyes, adjusted to light, couldn't see a thing, which was as good as he probably wouldn't piss himself as he saw the huge fist colliding with his face. All clear, Iron Will rumbled up from ahead. I stepped forward, almost stumbling over the diamond dog, and winced as my bag leg connected with him. Geez, Iron, you could have cleaned up a bit. And a self-respecting bludgeoneer always places victim to one side. It's something polite, after all. Iron Will just grinned back at me, his teeth shimmering in the darkness. Seriously, how did he do that? His teeth had a shine to them, like an advertisement. It was part of a cartoon physics, whereas his teeth was just that damn shiny. If this was the latter, where the hell did he get the tooth care from down here? Did the dogs really have good dental plan for their champion? Okay, so it wasn't just the teeth thing that got me a bit annoyed. Then they talked her down from the charge tactic I had planned out. Starting how stealth probably ba- starting how stealth was probably better than making a huge racket. I recently agreed, but had still pretty nifty to have to my brilliant strategy cast aside. Summer had attempted to cheer me up by saying that if something went wrong with the stealth, we always had my tactics to fall back on. I hate to say it, but it worked. I automatically feel happier at the collation. Still, just watching Iron Will smack guard's head in the getting a bit boring. Sure, he tried to mix it up by intimidating each one. Hell, even got him to perform a suplex one that he tried to run away, which had been hilarious. It just got a bit dull. I was thankful when he finally reached the walls. Iron was simply approaching the two guard dogs and smashing his head to get. Bah! Iron Will just approaching the two guard dogs and smashing their heads together before punching the door open. Seriously, that was stealing all my moments of cool. I was going to have a knock up a notch without awesome him. The inside of the vault, like everywhere else in the bloody mine, practically boiling with the amount of torches that had been stuffed into it. Every available wall space had been torch mounted on it. The light glitter of various treasures and possessions taken from captured slaves. The entire room like, looking like it had been designed by paranoid kleptomaniac who had played too much Minecraft. Silly dogs. Torches don't protect against angry minotaurs. The pawns began to grab bags around the room, clearly recognizing their own positions. I frankly looked around the room, searching for my own stuff, before finding it hanging from a nail in the wall, gleefully wrapping the belt around my waist and tied it tight. That was much better now. I felt so much less naked, even though I still technically was very naked. With my bags of tricks now on their rightful place around my waist. I began to look at other things the dog has stored here. I just about to open a crate to check contents when I felt a hoof jab at my bad leg. I winced around in pain, yelp, and letting out a crate lid, eh, letting go the crate lid in the process. I just caught a glimpse of the contents, what looked like red cylinders before the lid slammed shut, right on my tail. Another yelp escaped me, which I desperately tried to convert into merely cough. Yes, Sunday. How can I help you? I asked with forced politeness. The evil old zebra just laughed at my misfortune. Seriously, I I know you're not supposed to fuck with the doctor, but still, this guy was a dick. Hey, Dirk this. Don't choke to death on it. He handed me a cup full of foul smelling green potion. I stare at the fumes coming out with a small amount of suspicions. Oh well, no pain, no gain. I raised the cup in a salute to the gods of non-dying, painful, and chugging down the bad boy. Oh dear God, that was a mistake. The foul liquid immediately began to assault my inner organs, as I had some kind of personal vendetta against me. I could feel my stomach screaming in pain. That's how bad it was. I could hear the screams of my internal organs. My legs spasmed and began beneath me in pain as I fell on the ground, arms flailing wildly at the crates around me, knocking them over. I convulsively in pain on the ground. I utterly noticed that my bones appeared to be moving on their own accord. Well, I certainly didn't tell them that. Oh God, what the hell? I could feel my bones shifting about underneath my leg, knitting back together in what I could only describe as a horrible parody of the natural healing process. Magic was a wonderful thing. This small magical potion that had accomplished more than medical technology ever could. And all it had was put me through the worst pain I ever felt in my life. I was still waiting the advantage of magic over science overall. I think I was still preferring the natural method. If Sunday approached me with a potion again, I'm going to kick him in the shaggy face. After clawing my way up to the nearest box and swaying my back on my hooves, I saw Zende snickering at me. I had always been raised to respect my elders, as they know more than me and have worked hard to earn that knowledge. This zebra was seriously testing my cavity. However, my body popping sensation managed to spill some of the crates into the floor, revealing their contents. The Warring's cylinder content. The red tubes have been spilling all over the floor. Pieces of what like strings sticking out the end of them. Is that dynamite? Do this place have freaking dynamite? Yes. The dogs occasionally use them to when they run in particularly tough section of rock, or if they just get lazy. Huh? I have worked with explosion in some of my show. Usually things make flashes or noise and light. Never something as devastating as blasting powder. Still, we're going to have to confront Red Tooth at some point. And desperate times and all I need, I pick up a few sticks of dynamite and tuck them into my bags. I also found a pile of spare magic blocking rings which I slipped into another pouch. I wasn't anticipating having to restrain very many unicorns with an item as useful as the rings. I wasn't about just to let them go to waste. My new items secured in my pouches. I stepped out of the walls alongside the ponies, heavily stretching my fixed leg. Nearby Iron Will was leaning casually against the wall of a tunnel, chatting with Summer and several other ponies. I was surprised how well the ponies have taken to Iron Will. Eventually, they were quick to forgive the slights against them, especially those slights were unintentional, such as being forced into uncontrollable rage to fight them. The escaped prisoners, now equipped with their provisions, carried down the tunnel. Iron will continue his brutal work on any guards who we ran out into. The ponies and I, stepping carefully over the unconscious bodies of the dogs, we swiftly reached another intersection. One way I know led to the throne room I had been dragged into when I was brought here. The other direction would probably lead to the rest of the mine. Okay, guys, I got a plan, and I like us to actually follow this time. Me, Iron Will, and Summer are going to free the fools from Red Tooth, and if he gets in the way, I stab him in the gizzard, whatever the hell gizzard is. Meanwhile, the rest of you will be going down the mine and freeing the mares. Zende, I'm calling you unofficial leader for the pony forces into the mine, mostly because yours is the only name I have the time to learn. Any questions? Yeah. Why the hey should we trust you to rescue the fools? Foes. One of the stallions at the back spoke up. Because I'm taking Ironwheel and Summer with me, two of the strongest motherfuckers in this damn place. I also have a few tricks left up my sleeve for defeating Redtooth. I know I'm not doubting your capabilities. Actually, I'm doubting Iron Will's or Summerstorm's. But why don't we just bum rush Redtooth? Because he has the foes within his grasp at all times. If he hears a damn army bearing down on him, he's going to get jumpy. Well, jumpier than usual. A small strike force can move far swifter and quieter, meaning less chance of the fools getting hurt. The stallions considered this before agreeing. They would go along with this plan, but that put their loved ones in less danger, and my plan removed many of the dangerous variables as possible. Zende sent me an understanding nod before leaning back, leading his forces down the mine. I turned where Ironwill was leaning against the wall with Summer. Do, you done with your planning, little lamb? Okay, first. I, okay, I'm first. I'm part goat, not sheep. Secondly, yeah, let's do this shit. We rest down. We sit down the second corridor. Summer and Iron will flanking me as we approach the door to the throne room. The two guards on duty pointed their spears at us. They weren't too much of an obstacle considering my companions. Summer slapped them on the right, and Willis Iron just picked up his guard up and slammed him into the ceiling. I think he didn't even slow the guards. I didn't even slow as the guards imperceptibly simply walked down past them into the throne room. Honey, I'm home. I addressed the room. The empty room. Damn. I messed up my one-liner. Okay. Oh well. Zulu here now. And yeah, I'm probably going to put up one more video maybe later. Or later this week. I will continue to read up and hopefully getting more subscribers. It would be really appreciated. So, peace out.